playing Digimon World Dawn.
You couldn't just play Pokemon for the sake of this topic, really?
I don't have Pokemon.
Anyway, welcome to the Tech Game Podcast. I'm Bryan Swan, joined today with Kevin Violinist, a.k.a.
Fair Off Dragon.
Find him on YouTube. And joined with Malik. Guys, if you haven't seen yet, it should be uploaded by the time that I actually post this. You should find an awesome gameplay of both of these guys and myself included with Call of Duty. Guys, let's talk about first Pokemon Go. We'll talk about Nintendo, DS, and other handhelds, and we'll talk about some other stuff going on in the world of Nintendo itself. But Pokemon Go, impressions, reactions, general thoughts. I want to hear you guys. I mean...
Okay, so here's my thing, right?
I mean, you're a huge Pokemon fan anyway, right? I mean,
yeah, I play Pokemon like all the time. I play all the newest Pokemons and, all the latest whatnots about Pokemon. But Pokemon Go, I heard about it. At first I was excited, and then I went to go download it, right, on the app. And there were some comments saying how it doesn't work for me. This game's a piece of shit. People were like upset. Some people were upset, but some people were like, it only works at nighttime for me.
Really? I mean, but general impressions of what you've seen so far. What have you seen so far from the gameplay elements? I mean, we've seen trailers of it leading up to it. Yesterday my girlfriend downloaded this the app, and overall, I mean, from what I saw from the gameplay trailers before and what I saw from her phone, it's just, my opinion, it's fascinating. I mean, for kids, I think that it's gonna be fun, right? It's gonna be fun for people. It's gonna be, exactly. I think realistically, it doesn't. It's Pokemon Light. It's Pokemon Light and
Pokemon Light.
I mean, it's Pokemon Light, and if you're going to just have if you really want to get into Pokemon, just get a DS game, because realistically, it doesn't offer what I think would have been the good mobile version. Huh? What's up?
And I saw this one post on Facebook where this kid was like, "What's a Squirtle?" And he was like, "If you're going to play the game, at least play the DS version before hopping on the mobile version."
Well, I expect this,
not knowing,
I expect the idiots to, well, not idiots, but blind kids that don't know anything about Pokemon to jump in. I actually think that this probably helps the Pokemon brand, because some people just don't know about it. What's up?
I just started thinking about it though. Hold on. I'm trying to remember what Pokemon I had when I had it on Game Boy.
Oh, cool! You had it on GBA?
Yeah.
Cool.
GBA was awesome.
I was beating battles and just taking, basically just taking Pokemon or something. Then from everybody else.
Sweet. Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Because we're boss.
Yeah, I think Pokemon. Overall, we've seen it throughout the years. I think they've done great jobs upgrading it. Like, we've seen X and Y, and we've seen these newer games that have added new elements to the series that we didn't have before. Yeah. And I think that overall, Go is by itself. Go shouldn't really be counted as a new Pokemon. I think that it's by itself as a sort of Pokemon Light. And
I wish I was that. What's his name? The one with the lightning. I'm trying to think of his name.
Pikachu.
Yeah, I wish I was in for real, not just in the suit.
Yeah. But I think that as a starting app, it's okay. There's been some bugs. From what
I heard, the servers were overloaded. They only had 10 servers, but it was still overloaded worldwide.
They continuously keep mentioning how overloaded the servers are. It seems like they weren't prepared, even though they had a brand like Pokemon, which they should be prepared for. And overall, they just weren't ready for it. Yep. I think overall, though, Pokemon Go can be fascinating for people that are really interested in jumping into an app, and the most popular app around. I think that, Miitomo a few months ago was that app that everyone was just like, I need to go and download it. It's a Nintendo game. It should be really fun. And then what happened? Nintendo doesn't know how to keep people really interested in their games for some reason.
Yeah.
Pokemon, I think, Miitomo, no one remembers it much anymore. Pokemon Go may end up the same way. It may not. It depends on how they market it. It depends on how they merchandise it, how well the DLC is. Of course, that's microtransactions to upgrade your characters if you really want to go faster with it. But overall, I think that it's a cool game. It's just that it wastes battery life. The servers are buggy. I mean, the servers are down. It's buggy as hell.
And you have to be connected to the internet all the time.
You might as well just go you keep saying.
What about people that don't have internet on their phones?
Oh well,
Why can't there be an offline version?
That's what that. I mean, well, It's all well. I mean, it makes. I think it makes. There's it's unfortunate, but it makes sense because it uses Google Maps so much that you would need it. You would need it to get from A to B, and you need to find the Pokemon. It continuously transmits everything around, so I can. But yeah, just stick to it. Stick to a DS game, guys. I mean, really, if you're looking for a true Pokemon experience, I don't think this is going to have it.
Most definitely not.
Yeah. So, guys, found Pokemon Go. Yeah.
It's a meh. I like if
you could rate it 5 stars, what would you give it right now?
I give it, you know.
I'll probably give it like 2.5.
2.5? What would you give it?
I give it 2 DS Lites compared to 1 new 3DS.
I'm missing you here.
That's basically
2 out of 5.
It's bad.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
It's bad. Okay. I would give it a 3.5, I guess. You know, I don't.
I mean,
I don't see. I think that there's potential for a new audience to actually start loving Pokemon, and that's always a good thing. That getting more kids involved in Pokemon is always an awesome thing to hear. Getting people interested in a new Nintendo title is always awesome to hear, and hopefully now they'll go and then they'll say, oh, well, we want NX in the future. This may be the jumping off point where people might say, oh, we want NX, we want more than just this mobile experience, and Nintendo, like I said before, has gone and made Miitomo, and now we have Pokemon Go, and we'll see some more. I hope that there's like a Mario Kart, like a light Mario Kart game that really sort of utilizes the smartphone experience. You're listening to the Tech Game Podcast on Athemocracy. Hey guys, if you're listening to this on Athemocracy, I want you to send me some questions, whatever questions you want. The reason why I brought this to Athemocracy is that I'd like more people to listen to it, and I think that the network here really enjoys my content. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to have you guys send me some questions if you want, about anything really. I'm also going to have another podcast, Cartoon Chat, which will be reviving and coming back on Sundays. So guys, sending questions at techgamingpodcast@gmail.com. That's again, techgamingpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. I'm Bryan Swan, and keep watching. This is Tech Gaming Podcast. However, we now know that the smartphone experience won't just be you holding a smartphone. We now know that Nintendo will be making their own controllers for the handheld device. Now, if you haven't seen my channel, I made a video about this some time ago, and you know, we talk about handhelds, and we'll talk about them later. But Nintendo overall, except for the 2DS, doesn't really have a good. I think the handhelds that they've made are okay, at least the DS lineup. But the triggers are kind of like the triggers get stuck all the time. It's not really the most comfortable experience.
Yeah, and
overall.
even when they're not stuck, they get dust caught in them, and then they stop functioning. So, and I had experience with that with the DSs. I had to clean them out a lot.
Exactly. So I mean, overall though, the controller format or the idea of holding a DS system, right, was not the best and most comfortable thing in the world. So what I'd say, right, is that overall, what you should probably think of, and I've expected this for a very long time. This looks good. Like I'm showing a picture right now of the Moga Ace, I believe, the Moga Ace Power, and I think that is what we're looking at for a Nintendo handheld device. It may not be actually what the device looks like, but overall, when I had the idea for what Nintendo might do, if they actually wanted to go full in, I thought this is what they should probably go with. Mm-hmm. It has dual analogs, or it has an analog stick, it has a D-pad, it has actually dual analog sticks, and it has the triggers, it has the buttons at the top, it has all the triggers. I think that this really could be what Nintendo's trying to reach for. I see the potential there for a controller that really could feel comfortable.
It's for phone and...
because of course Nintendo's making a controller for iPhone and iPad, and the Moga Ace really has proven a sort of sturdy, well-designed, ergonomically excellent controller format in this.
It looks good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, no, this is just the Moga Ace, but overall, Nintendo making a controller, right, I mean...
Yeah, what are their designs? Have they
No, they haven't released anything, but overall, this is what the impression may be for what their designs are. I mean, are you guys excited? I mean, overall.
I mean, I play on my phone a lot more recently, so I figure using it like a little controller thing for it would be better.
Right.
Because sometimes I play a little bit like if I like get bored, I'll sit where there's internet and play a little shooter or something. But that's probably it.
Exactly. I think that one of the most unfortunate things with the mobile devices are that when you really want to get down to playing, it's like when I had my iPod Touch, I played Real Racing 3, which I think is one of the best racing experiences I've ever had on a mobile device, even compared to a 3DS or compared to a DS or a PSP, and I'm not counting Gran Turismo PSP, but any other experience. I think that Real Racing 3 really sets the bar for what the mobile racing experience should be, and what I found was that it gets really tiring to have your hands around a smartphone that just is a brick.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't feel good. And it's kind of very similar to that of a DS itself, but overall, like, the footprint just doesn't feel comfortable, and I think that adding a controller format would really bring a more comfortable feeling. Could you turn?
It's like, I don't know that.
I mean, like,
but yeah, it looks like it perfectly grips and fits in people's hands. So it's like a comfortable feel. It looks good. So, and it only looks like it's being made for iPhone and iPod.
It's being made for iPhone and iPad. Of course, like I said before, this is the Moga's power we're looking at. And the Moga has, like I said, done a really good job of making good controllers, or controllers that really do a good job in working out that middle ground for an actual controller feel while holding a smartphone. But yeah, guys, I think that the future,
so it looks like it runs off the power of your phone.
Yeah.
Okay. There could be some problems with that. I mean, some problems. Like, if it's, because it'll drain your phone a lot faster.
I mean, well, Nintendo games Miitomo and Pokemon Go drain the hell out of your battery. It sucks, but Jesus Christ, do they drain the hell out of the battery. What we've seen is that, and I don't think Nintendo really cares about your battery, really. I think that Nintendo just cares if you download it or not, how many times you're playing. As long as they make revenue, I think that's what their goal is. Especially in the status where they're in this limbo mode where they're trying to adjust themselves, they're trying to get themselves out of the Wii space, they're trying to move themselves into this new sort of style where they're pushing in NX and then they're going mobile, and we don't know what the new handheld.
Basically, they're still trying to be family friendly while
they're trying to transition.
Breach.
It seems like they're trying to transition out of it while also family friendly while offering a new option. And this is the middle ground. This is why 2015 or 2016 is a really kind of bare moment for Nintendo in terms of what we're looking at for software. Software-wise, we see Kirby Planet Robobot is really good, but when it comes down to, I think that controller-wise, Nintendo could really win some people over, could really get a brand new community of people over. This could, I think Nintendo is betting on a new controller because this may possibly be the replacement that we're looking for the DS lineup.
Yeah.
But I also think they're working on a new handheld. There was a rumor that they were working on a new handheld, and I think that may be likely.
No, I just
overall, guys,
Yeah, so, I mean, it looks... Well, I will wait till I see what the actual controller looks like, but this controller really do look good. So I figure, if they're going for something like this, then I think it's a good move for Nintendo to make some extra cash since they didn't really show up at E3 and stuff. So
exactly, price of entry. What would be the highest? What would be the highest price for a controller? Right? Do we price this at an Xbox One, like a PS4 Xbox One controller? Or do we or should it be cut back to 20?
I'd say a good 30. It's the middle ground between 20 and 50. Like a $35 or $30.
Not extremely premium.
Not too expensive, but everyone can afford it, and this way they make more revenue that way. So.
Exactly. It's the smarter move, I believe, to go out and cutting the price, keeping it below 40, keeping it below 30 in general, would really give people more interest. But I don't know what Nintendo's plans are. So hopefully they do it. Hopefully that's what the plan is.
See the bottom rectangle? Write or draw something in it with your finger. Don't worry. This isn't a test or anything. It's just good practice.
all this stuff about Nintendo future, Nintendo's future, it's really questionable where they're going in the next 10 years, in the next 5, even next year. We don't know what the NX really is.
Might end up like Sega.
They may start just doing software for other systems. We don't know what they're doing, and it all depends on what NX is and what their plans are for their upcoming console. But let's go back. Let's talk about DS and just overall, just cool handhelds. I'll start off with just like I started off by playing portable wise. I started off with a PSP. I ordered a PSP, and had a bundle of Jack and Daxter, Daxter for the PSP. And I remember the memory card I lost. I remember the UMD was awful, but it was graphically one of the best experiences that I've ever had on a handheld. I think that it was still a fun game. I think that the Matrix scene was hilarious. I think there were moments in that game that I think the dialogue between the characters was really funny. There were moments that made you really want to spend time in that game even more, and they really delivered, I think, really making a solid Daxter game for a portable console that, I had never really gone portable, and this really was cool. And I'm just going to do like sort of a Cliff Notes style thing, right? I jump over to DSi, and of course, the DS is just so like graphically shitty that it was cool, right? But like I had gone from PS2 to PSP to DSi, and it was the fact that I had played Gran Turismo on PSP. I had played all these games on PSP. I had played Daxter on PSP, and it looked good. It looked really amazing. And DSi, of course, and Nintendo DS Lite were still just pushing those old sort of 2D flat style games that just didn't really deliver graphically. We didn't get a good processor in a DS until the 3DS came along.
Yeah, and then an even better one, better one until the new 3DS, which is like much better. But like I remember I started off with the Game Boy. Then I went to the Game Boy Advance. Yeah, I started with the Game Boy Advance. Yeah, I started off with like the Game Boy Advance, and then I went to the SP.
Yeah.
And then from the SP, the DS Lite. So I've been mostly following a little bit of Nintendo for the remainder until I got my PS2. I had a PS2. I had an Xbox 3. I had an Xbox.
But portable wise.
Yeah, portable wise, I got a PSP, and I've been playing Monster Hunter on that, and I was like, holy shit! The graphics on this game is just pulls you in. It makes you want to do like stuff on it. Occasionally, and I even got my 3DS right now, so occasionally I still play on my 3DS, and the stuff the graphics are still pretty good on it. Exactly. But mostly I still go back to the PSP, even though the games are old. I still play them because it's more fun, more graphically appealing, to the looks. So I just like, I like out of all my handheld consoles that I have, the PSP was one of my favorite. I haven't gotten into a PS Vita.
Oh no, if they dropped those memory cards and just had integrated memory, I would have jumped on that console. But the fact that it cost
PSP Go was
it had internal memory,
and you can still upgrade the memory even with the internal memory.
And you could still upgrade it. If for some reason Vita, you have to buy an $80 32 gig memory card, or 72 gig memory card, or something like that. It's ridiculous for such a high price you have to pay for proprietary memory cards. They're still
you can actually get it cheaper online, but
barely. I mean, nowadays it's still expensive. I mean, it's
much.
Yeah. What about you, Malik? I mean, you had what a PSP?
Well, basically for me, I had a Game Boy SP. I think I had a Game Boy Advance, and I had a PSP exact. Like a silver PSP. Then I had a white one.
Yeah, I remember that PSP. It was cool.
I had I had a wrestling game that was actually like with good graphics in there.
Right.
Cause nowadays they don't really render no more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So for me I basically got up from the PS2 to the PS4. The PS4 was probably the best ones.
Right.
Yeah.
But I know you had the. You stuck with PSP, right? That was your.
Yeah.
You haven't had the any DS part, right? You haven't gone to DS, but you had a GBA before, right? You had a GBA, and which GBA did you have? Which one?
Advance.
No, which model? Do you know which model? Like was it the
There was like
source-
original. There was like original without the color.
The flip up, or was it like the
SP?
flip up?
Yeah,
The SP.
Well,
I think the
basically, I had basically both of them. I had that.
Oh, cool.
Like that. I was like this, and I had one hooked up.
Yeah, I know people
It's
love
like
that back. I know people love that backlit screen on the SP. I really love the design of the original GBA.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know, something about it was just simple and easy. Same with the SP, but I really love that the old original
Yeah.
GBA. But going back to the Vita, yeah, I think that there hasn't been a console that graphically there hasn't been a handheld graphically that matches the Vita yet.
I might.
But
To be honest, I might say that the new 3DS might.
It's not about it. It's
I
still
mean,
not. It's still not
the
up there.
processing power was a way.
Have you seen the games? It doesn't. It doesn't match up. Still. It's close. I mean, it's
games.
It's,
I haven't
better.
I haven't seen games, but the system itself, it's much more powerful than the regular 3DS. And I
Right.
figured,
Yeah.
actually, no, I have seen some games that really look good. Like speaking of Monster Hunter, it transferred over
4
to
Ultimate.
Nintendo. Yeah, so
Yeah.
4 Ultimate looks really good.
Oh, man.
And now they're doing Generations, which looks.
Oh, really?
It really, yeah, and the cool thing is it really takes advantage of the graphical power of the new 3DS, and
Okay.
I figure but to me that's the only game I see that can graphically match with the Vita, and so I'm
Right.
like, okay, well that's the only thing I've seen so far, but they need to make more games that
Yeah.
takes advantage of the hardware power that it
hardware.
has.
Yeah, I think the Vita, when you look at something like Uncharted or Wipeout or Need for Speed Most Wanted, or just games that really show off the power, there's nothing really that matches it yet. But I do have to say that Nintendo, compared to Vita, really knows how to keep it valuable. PlayStation continued throughout the years, and they've cut the price. They've done a good job. It's $199 now. I think they need to cut it to $149 now. There's no point anymore. People aren't buying Vita really. But
Yeah, I mean,
but
some
I mean,
people don't see
you
the
have
reason
you have
to,
the two,
so.
like, just going back. Like, I bought it. Like, I remember like last year or the year before, I was debating on whether to buy a 3DS or a 3DS XL, and I went with a 2DS. And the reason was, and like all my friends who were Nintendo fans said, "Oh no, the 2DS looks like a door stopper. Has all these different things that just don't reach its potential." But overall, this thing is sturdy. It looks really good. I think it's fine. It has the analog sticks in the place that you really need it. It has the triggers in the place that you really need it. And these triggers actually feel like triggers. I'm holding one in my hand right now. These triggers actually feel like something that's on a console. Yeah. And I can't say that about the 3DS all the way back to the original DS. And Nintendo delivered on the triggers. I think Nintendo delivered on the feel of this console because I have huge hands.
Most definitely.
And I think that, yes, I do. Oh,
And it wasn't just made for like little kids.
Yeah.
Obviously.
No, it was made for, it was a universal console, but it delivers on the option that you don't really need the 3D. I don't think for for $80, like, this console is literally the most valuable thing in gaming when it comes to portable systems.
Yeah.
Because you can get Mario Kart 7, you can get all these games, and it's so much more valuable.
Well,
Compared to like going if you really want to save it for the NX, do you really want to go and buy a new 3DS XL for $200?
And then try to
Like-
save up. Like, you might as well. Yeah, you're better off buying the cheaper console. It does the same thing without it doesn't have. It's the only difference is it doesn't have the 3D, and it's like it's just flat. So I mean,
Right.
it's easy to manage. Take care of. So. And it still has the little cameras and stuff, so it should be fine.
Right, but
and you save a lot more.
Right.
Just getting that.
I know you have the 3DS, the original 3DS system.
Yeah.
Your time with it. Do you feel comfortable with it? Is it like, I know that what's your thoughts on the overall system itself? I mean, I saw it in multiple, of course, game stores. They showed it up on kiosks all the time.
Alright, so this is how my overall feel. I don't even use the 3D feature. I don't need to use the 3D feature. The volume settings.
But overall, just as a console itself.
As a console, I feel like it's good. You can give it a try yourself. The analog really responds. The triggers, they don't feel as as triggering as
Amazing
on a
as the
console as on the
2DS.
2DS, which really does feel amazing. But they did, however, they did fix the problems with the triggers, like from
the old DS
compared to
and the
old
DSi.
previous ones. It actually do sort of feel more, just a
They
little
feel
bit
yeah,
more.
they're more out
And
there.
it doesn't get all dust caught on them. They don't stop. They don't start like sticking. They don't do all that sort of stuff. So it does feel generally better, just not as good as the 2DS triggers. Which God damn these triggers.
I also have the time to spend with. I spent time with a 3DS XL for a while, or just a little bit, and I think that system also. You look at the lineup right now. The 2DS, the 3DS. Of course, the old 3DS isn't sold anymore. Really, Nintendo stopped producing it. But of course, when you look at it, the 2DS, the old 3DS, and the old 3DS XL. I think the old 3DS XL does a great job when it comes to the size of it. I think that it's overall not. I tried playing for a long time on it, but my hands still kind of get.
A little, and I do sort of have I have big hands just like you, and this it doesn't. I mean, it is
not
that much. Actually, no, it's the same size.
Yeah, for the
same size, on the very same.
But for the 3DS XL though, I mean, it's very.
Yeah. Unless you get the 3DS XL, which is better for bigger hands. That's why I always like the 3DS XL.
Right.
Or the just the XLs in general, because the XLs gives you more feel. And
I had the XL. I just think that
it's not boxy. It's more curved. Some of the XLs are more
somewhat curved. I still didn't get the full comfortability. Like, it offered a larger experience. My hands felt still like I was still doing like my pulling my fingers back to get to the triggers.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the best feeling for the. I don't think it was the best design overall. I think they just made a screen bigger, and they kept talking about how it wasn't that. I think that, for example, Apple will go out and say, "Oh, well, we didn't just make the screen bigger. We fixed every other feature in the device to make sure that it came together as one great device."
Yeah.
Nintendo instead seems to have just made a larger screen and didn't really adjust everything. They just added. Everything else seems like it's pretty much the same.
They just make it.
Thing.
They
And
just expanded it.
of course, buttons are moved down to the center, I think, or not moved to the side, I believe. But overall, it's just 3DS XL. It's when it comes to comfort, not my favorite system, but I'd say right now go out and buy it. Go out and buy the 2DS system, which is $80, or go out and buy an old 3DS XL. You don't need that new 3DS XL anymore. I think that's your last effort for Nintendo to get more people to buy 3DS. But I recommend get an old 3DS or 3DS XL. You'll enjoy it. It'll be a lot of fun. It will last you for a very long time. Those things are reliable as hell. And then let's jumping back into like the. Well, yeah,
This is good.
yeah. When you look at the DS Lite, though, right? I mean, have any you guys have? I know you
Yes,
have a DS Lite.
I actually did have a DS Lite.
Yeah, I mean, like the DS Lite is like, I think it's Nintendo's best system seller, or
It was like godsend, basically.
It was the primary system that Nintendo made revenue off of. I mean,
I said it was godsend because so right. You grew up with Game Boy and stuff, right? And you had all these Game Boy games, but then you're see the DS, and you're like, I don't want to, trade up and lose all my old games. And so their answer to that was like, well, you can still play your Game Boy games on the new DS Lite, plus your new DS games, and that was like, I was like, ooh. I had mine for a very long time until it finally gave out on me, but I had it since the beginning, and it's a really good system. The DS Lite. I didn't have the original DS Lite, but I had
the original DS.
Yeah. I had that and the DS. Which one was that? It was like
the DSi.
Yeah, DSi. I had the DSi.
Yeah,
that was really good too.
As much as I say I didn't like the DSi for graphic means, I still loved it in every other way. Mario Kart, all the other games that I played.
The little apps that they had, Flipnote and stuff.
Nintendo was so wise to release the DSi at the time that they did, because it really added that social impact. It really expanded on the design. It really did it really added a lot of things that the old DS like the old DS and the DS Lite really looked aged by the time the DSi came around, and the DSi gave it a software upgrade that we really didn't expect. It looked really good, but one of the best things about the DS and the DS Lite that generation was it kept itself backwards compatible. Like, people really don't. People wonder, why did the DS like sell so well? You look at the Game Boy Advance compatibility. You look at the price tag that Nintendo was selling this console at. You look at the continuous stream of games. DS. And this was, like, of course, just before the rise of mobile gaming, but DS was just so popular and so well designed that I think that there was no real way that it was going to fail as badly as something like a PSP. It didn't fail. PSP didn't fail. It just it trounced the PSP, and I think that just shows the level of dedication Nintendo really brought to the table when it came to that device. As much as it was underpowered to the PSP,
it just had really so much larger library than what the PSP had, and so I like it had Game Boy games, DS games, all the newer DS games, and it was all together.
Exactly.
So you just had like this large library. You didn't even have to like spend too much to get the newer games. You can always just get the older games and still have a good time with
it's
DS, which was like really
you look at Jesus Christ. I feel so old now because I remember as a kid playing these consoles, and now they're so old. Now these consoles are just like so outdated compared to the rest of what's going on now.
Yeah.
It's incredible, right? And like you look at like just the time period Nintendo was in, making so much money off of these consoles, and then even now they're still making money off of 3DS. They're still making revenue off of 2DS. People are still loving these consoles. The fact that they can still compete alongside smartphones and all that, I mean, they should be literally dead by now. But because Nintendo makes such great games, makes such great software, they continue to sell.
they kind of just make games that pull you in.
Right.
Like I haven't played it, but a lot of people like Villager, like the Villager game. It was like, what is it?
Animal Crossing.
Yeah, Animal Crossing. Yeah, a lot of people like playing that, and it really does pull you in because like when you're gone for a certain amount of days, like, hey, we missed you. This stuff is happening, and then you're like, oh, cool. And then like they have like some of the old Zelda games and stuff on there, like the classics. You want to keep it classic. Play with your friends.
I think best experience mobile with friends is still either. Oh, there's the DSi right there. It doesn't work, but there's. I've been taking out, guys. If you're listening to the podcast, I've been taking out a bunch of different devices from Nintendo history. That's in the DS. It pretty much has the same form factor. I love the fact that Nintendo really knew that they didn't need to change too much. It was really smart. They didn't adjust all that much to the console. They didn't adjust the console all that much. It was still the same form factor. It was thin. It changed the only thing that really changed was the fact that it went from a glossy to a matte black, and it still made the console was literally the same. And I think that really shows
same size.
Yeah, no.
The DSi is actually slightly bigger than the 3DS.
Yeah,
only slightly.
Only wide. I think wider, but I think the 3DS is slightly taller.
It's like. Yeah, it's much taller, but it's like slightly just bigger. The old DSi.
Right.
It's just like, okay.
But yeah, best game I think. I still enjoy like that moment when we were like all sitting there and on the bus playing Super Mario.
Yeah,
or just the Mario Kart battles, or like there were just so many days where it's just like. Hey, do you have your DS on you? Do you have your console on you?
It's like, I got mine. So what do you want to play?
And it just you didn't need
the game itself.
You didn't need the game itself. Nintendo's mentality of everyone can play is so brilliant and so heartwarming. I think that it really changed it. It brought a lot of people in that didn't expect they'd be interested in it, and it really just it still is incredible and awesome that
Because like
Nintendo does
the
that.
coolest feature that I thought was on there was like the download and play.
Oh, the download play. It's
So
yeah.
when you had your own game and your friend was like, "Oh, I want to play too," and it's like, "Oh, there's like this game has download play feature." Oh, really? Yeah, we can play 2-player, and then they hook it up and they play. It was like they didn't have to hook it up. It was wirelessly, so it was like really cool, and that was something that I really enjoyed about the.
Can you look at Game Boy Advance real quick?
Yeah, we can go. Actually, I want to go back.
Look at some good pictures of the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's.
Oh, I had that purple one right there, the old color.
Yeah, I think I had that one too. I'm not really sure.
Which one?
Hold on, let me see. I think I had
I
I had that kind.
which one?
And that
Which one?
The color. I had the color.
Advance.
You had the color and you had the
Advance and the
Yeah.
SP.
I probably had the color.
Yeah.
The one that I
remember.
didn't really know about
You
existed
didn't see the micro?
was the micro.
No, I
never.
remember seeing them. I saw a micro somewhere, and I was like, "What is this?" Like,
Yeah.
I had no idea what this was. Like the GBA game itself, like stuck out from the back of it. It was just so tiny. I just didn't feel. Even as a kid, didn't like. I don't know. It just something about it was like too small for me.
I mean,
it was
SP was small enough, and like it.
Yeah, the SP did it fine.
Yeah.
I think that overall,
I missed that, though.
it just.
I can't even lie.
Yeah, the SP.
Oh man,
Yeah.
the SP DS combo that they had for what going on was awesome. I think that was like sweet. But again, like when we talk about why DS Lite sold so well, it was because of the fact that they had that GBA adapter in there solid. And you didn't need the GBA SP anymore. You didn't need the Game Boy Advance original anymore. You could just go use the DSi, and I think that, or the original DS, and I think that Nintendo really bet on that feature, and and people jumped on it.
It's just proven.
I wonder if it's
Timeless.
still
No, they're not. They don't. It discontinued. But
You could probably find.
you can find them on
online,
Amazon. You can find them on
so-
Amazon. You can find them on eBay. They're everywhere. Millions of people bought them. I've seen the original Game Boy and the Game Boy Pocket and the Game Boy Light. I've touched and played a Game Boy Color, but I haven't really experienced those consoles. I never had the full experience of them, and even though they're so legendary,
Yeah.
I never actually got a chance to play them. I mean, have you guys ever played the original game? Not the GBA, but the original Game Boy.
I played something close to it, and that was like the color, the Game
You
Boy
played the color, and
which was
that's still part of it, no?
I didn't-
Yeah, and
I
so
didn't have
like
the color.
it's the same, and like the thing was, it was my mother's, and I played that, and she played it more than I did, but like I played on it, and they had cool games like Pac-Man and like
Right.
stuff like that. So I played that, and then I finally got my own Game Boy Advance, and I started playing on that while my mom was playing on their color. So I was like, oh yeah, it's cool. It's like they're different, but I kind of like the. I still like to play on the color more than the Game Boy Advance because it had such a cool design to it.
Right.
It was simple, yet the color like even though you could see inside of it, the color was just like cool. And I think that's why I like purple so much
Because of what?
because of how it was, back in the day. So I was like, I guess that's why my favorite color became what it was.
My favorite color is probably the gray one.
The green one,
No.
the gray one.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
the SP one.
I've seen somebody play a micro. It looked brighter than the.
No, it had the back. I think they had backlight, so it was fine. It had backlight just like the SP did. But,
Yeah.
it had the upgrades of the SP, except it just was smaller than the original Game Boy Advance. So I mean, it had the triggers too. That's what's weird. It's so small, and it just I don't know. Nintendo was just like going crazy with what can we make here and what can we make there.
You picked it up like it was a cell phone.
Yeah,
Yeah, you just like turn on the sides like, hey, how's it going? And you just like.
But yeah, I think Nintendo's history in the portable space is you can't really knock it and you can't really say anything about it negatively. I mean, I talk about graphics all the time, but anything else really, gameplay wise and games wise, you can't really compare anything to Nintendo's portable experiences because once you turn on the console, once you turn on the game, you will fall in love with it. And if you don't fall in love with the first game that you played, you'll definitely fall in love with the second one. As long as those games aren't like third-party games, because sometimes they suck. But any Nintendo first-party game, you will fall in love with. I think that there's you'll enjoy. There's just so many generations of consoles, and pick one. Like literally give a kid a GBA, give a kid a Game Boy Light. It doesn't really matter. They'll jump in and they'll play. Like you don't even need to like show them a smartphone. You can just pass them a Nintendo, a DS. You can pass them a DS. You can pass them a DSi. You can pass them a Game Boy Advance or a Game Boy, and they'd still like enjoy the game. They'd still fall in love with it because it's so simple and easy to play.
Right.
But like basically like the very first game I used to actually play was GameCube.
On the game.
Huh, cool. Oh yeah, and they had Nintendo really went strong with that because of course the GameCube had the GBA adapter too, I think, right?
Yeah,
I don't have it on mine, but like I know they had the adapter and like
it had the little GBA adapter thing on it, and it had the adapter, but it also you put a disc in there, allows you to play the Game Boy games.
Right.
And so you put your Game Boy's games in there, you put the disc in, and then you play it on the big screen, and it was like, wow.
It was mind blowing.
I was like,
it's like, are you kidding me?
It was one of the most amazing things that Nintendo did with their GameCube, which was
like that was the first like cross-platform play
ever, and I was like, oh really? Wait, you're kidding me? GameCube can play Game Boy games. So when I did it and I got all the stuff for it, I was just like, oh. It's like I couldn't go back to you playing it on the
small screen, like
on
you're
the
like,
DS.
this is too good.
I just hogged myself up in my room, just like play some Pokemon Red,
right, and
just went on there, just like Fire Red and some just old Game Boy games, and just like went ham. I'm just like, this is freaking awesome, and it was just like, that was something amazing. Nintendo has done like so many amazing stuff,
things
down the years, and hopefully they'll be continuing to do some stuff. I mean, so. we haven't seen them do some stuff recently, but hopefully they'll do some stuff that just like
blows our minds.
Like just throw a curveball. We're thinking like, oh, they're doing this, and they're just like,
nope.
Whoa, are you serious? And then like, it becomes revolutionary again. So.
Right. We don't want an iPad attached to an iPad controller anymore. We just want something that actually is revolutionary and not just kind of going toward whatever the social norm is in the world of post-PC devices.
Oh yeah. What do you think about the Nintendo Wii?
The Wii, that is for another day when we talk about home consoles. But today, I think that wraps up our conversation.
Yeah, on handhelds.
On Pokemon Go, and on the chance of a controller for mobile devices. Guys, I'm Bryan Swan, of course, at Athemocracy, joined with Kevin Violinist. Find him at Fair Off Dragonoid on YouTube, and I think you're on Facebook, right?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook.
But just as Kevin.
Yeah, just as me. So
just as a Kevin. And then find Malik, I think, well, you don't have social media, but you find him on Athemocracy because there's a gameplay of us on it. So, guys, thanks for watching. I'm Bryan Swan, and stay tuned for more, guys.
Yeah. Bye-bye. And if they're lucky, they'll see us play more games.